Good afternoon and welcome to the Hall of Fame corner of Dave Niehaus Way and Edgar Martinez Drive. This is the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile. Now, here's your host, Aaron Goldsmith.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome to the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile. I am Mariners broadcaster Aaron Goldsmith, and welcome inside T-Mobile Park on an absolutely perfect day to be at the ballpark. You've probably been with us before on the program. If not, if this is the first time, we're glad you're hanging out with us for the next half hour or so. Man, being in the ballpark for batting practice is one of the best times of the day on any day in Major League Baseball, and we know that you can't always come in and be a part of it. So the point of this show is to bring you inside the ballpark for BP, give you a little bit of a feel for the yard around this time of the day, and also bring you some great Mariners content along the way. As always, I'm joined by my good friend, Gary Hill. G-Man, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you, as always.
You would agree this is one of the best times of the day.
I think it is the best time of the day. The only thing we can't bring you is the actual sunshine. You can't feel the sunshine. Everything else we can bring you. But it's the best. I love watching batting practice. I love watching infield. It's fun.
You know, we haven't talked about this yet today among our mini conversations already, but I'm feeling salmon sandwich later today.
Oh, in.
You good on that?
For sure, yeah. Right. Probably with 2 orders of fries. I want to eat all the fries they have in the stadium today. So
This has the feeling, the sandwich would agree, this has the feeling of a salmon sandwich.
Yes, for sure. In fact, right when we're done, that's what's happening.
Actually, maybe they could, are they watching there at the fish stand?
I'm sure they are.
Could they bring a sandwich or two? And all the fries that they have? Hey, we're excited to have this homestand continue. The Mariners are on just an incredible roll. They've won 3 straight series. They've won 11 of their last 15. They've won 14 of their last 19. How about Shedlong Jr., not to interrupt the winning ways comments for the Mariners, but Shedlong Jr. going off the windows of the Hit It Here Cafe the other day? I mean, we need to start the official list of window shots. I mean, I like that. I don't think that is a thing, but that should become a thing.
It's a good name for it, too.
You like that?
Yeah, I do like that. I like that a lot.
All right.
This is a thing.
It should be. Hey, surprise.
Hey, it's Ichiro. Think about his 2 weeks here. In like a 2-week span, he hit a walk-off grand slam and then hit the windows of the Hit It Cafe. All in like in like a handful of home games, he did that. It's
pretty great.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, that was a real shot. As Bauer shades, by the way, are. I mean, they don't get better than that. Yeah, it's so there's a broken window up there, which that was not Shed's handiwork. He was about midway up.
Can we just say it was?
Yeah,
look, that's a better story.
Can you believe that Shed knocked down a window?
I know. Look at it; it's broken.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Is he going to pay for that?
No, he's got to fix it himself. They can't hire out for it. He's got to do it.
He's toolsy.
Yeah,
like that.
Really nicely
like
done.
Hey, so the Mariners are really good.
Yeah,
and they're getting it done, like in every possible way, and it's pretty incredible when you think about how they've continued this stretch, right? I mean, you walk off the Rays 3 times, you sweep them in a 4-game set, you go on the road, you know it's going to be tough in Chicago, you win that series, you go to Buffalo, can't go any further than Buffalo, like that's the end. You can't go further. That's it. You've reached the cutoff point. You take 2 out of 3 against just a vaunted lineup led by Vlad Jr. and company, and then you come home and you take 2 out of 3 against the Rangers to kick off a homestand. You got the Yankees now up for 3, and then the Angels going into the All-Star break. We talked to Jerry about this in the latest Wheelhouse. This isn't just the best stretch the Mariners have had this year. This is the best stretch they've had in the last couple of years.
You know, you alluded to something that I find really impressive, too, and something I was looking at today is not only has this been a really good stretch for the Mariners, but the teams they've done it against. It's an impressive list. There are only 8 teams in baseball right now that have winning records against teams above 500. And the Mariners are one of those teams. And it's funny when you break it down because you have a team like, I don't know, take the Mets, for example. Against 500 teams above 500, I mean, they've hardly played. They're 7-9 against teams above 500. And the Mets are in first place, right? Meanwhile, the Mariners are 28-26 against teams above 500. So not only do they have a winning record.
Is that their entire schedule?
Yeah, it's basically their entire schedule. I mean, it's basically their schedule. So not only has it been a good stretch, but their opponents have been really good in the stretch, too.
Hey, question about that. Not
Yeah.
to get too granular on it, but is that 500
Current.
at current time?
Yes.
So not at time of
That's
the
right.
series, but
So it's a little deceiving. A great example is Detroit, when the Mariners played Detroit, who, for the first time in like 3 years, had a winning month.
right.
And they happened to have it in the same month that the Mariners played them. So especially this season, I feel like teams can be very different from one month to another month, or even because of injuries, a couple weeks
Sure.
to the next couple weeks. But that's an example of, it doesn't tell the entire story, but it's interesting.
Do you think Vitaly is hot in his beard?
Yes. I would say yes, but keep in mind that he ran like 12 miles somewhere today with that beard and in 90-degree weather. So right now he probably feels fine.
He feels okay now.
Yeah.
That's a good point. We haven't caught up with Carson Vitaly
We should do that
recently
soon.
and his running journey, and doing a lot for charity as well. You can find him on Twitter.
Yeah,
And-
I follow.
Yeah, and there you can keep up with his running exploits. It's incredible, and for a terrific cause as well. So a little side note there. Hey, Justice Sheffield is up on the bump today. This will be a tough task for Justice. We'll see the changeup a lot, I would imagine. Jameson Tyone, now in pinstripes, the former Pirate for a long while, is on the other side. Now, we're on the air at 6 o'clock with the pregame show on the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network. And over on the TV side on Root Sports, the pregame coverage will begin at 6:30 tonight. Tomorrow, Gary, an all-star will be on the mound. Yusei Kikuchi. Congrats to Yusei. This is a wonderful story. He has
Thrilled about this.
gone through a ton in his first 2 years. There was a lot of turbulence in the skies for Yusei. And even this year, even his first handful of starts, they did not begin in dominating form. But when you watch Yusei in his last, let's call it 2 months and change, like you're watching an all-star, whether he was an all-star or not, right?
Right.
Because we know guys get chipped every year. There's only so many seats at the table. We knew we were watching an all-star, and it's pretty fantastic to see that he gets paid off with it.
And this year of all years, I think becoming a starter on the American League All-Star team was nearly mission impossible, because there are some tremendous years going on right now, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
He has pitched so well. It has been such a pleasure to watch every 5 days, or 6 days, depending on the time of year. But my favorite development this year is when he gives you the hit this.
Yeah.
97, 98 mile per hour fastball, like over the plate, just here it is, hit it. And it doesn't get hit. I mean, it's usually a whiff. That's my very favorite development from this year.
It's very enjoyable seeing these highlights, because the nasty factor this year for Yusei and the swag, he has a smile on his face with the swag, which you don't often see. But he's such a nice person, and yet he will destroy you.
He will destroy. Yes, he will. Oh,
Look at that. That's a little flair there.
yeah.
He's icing on that.
He's got the punch outs. He's got one of the best ground ball rates in baseball. Last I looked, last start out, he was just behind Keuchel, which,
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to be
that's a given. That's a given.
That's okay.
But his ground ball rate is, that's the ultimate compliment, right? When you're
Right.
talking about ground ball rates, if you're in Keuchel's realm. Now, the difference between Yusei and Keuchel is Keuchel does not strike out nearly
Sure.
as many hitters as Yusei does. So that's a great combo, obviously.
Oh, we've got this series wrapping up. Oh, we love midweek matinees, don't we? Thursday, 1:10, first pitch
It's going
time.
to be fabulous weather.
It will be, won't it?
Oh.
I haven't looked, but I assume. And we get to watch young Logan Gilbert on the mound. And, like when you watch a young pitcher in particular, because the difference between the pitcher and the hitter, young pitcher versus young hitter, is that a young hitter has a bad game, and it's a game of failure, and it's going to happen. And they have 4 ABs, and let's say they strike out 3 times and roll over and do a double play. Like, they can escape. They can go play the field. Young pitcher, like, you're out there, man. There's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
If it's bad, we're looking at you for a while. And for Logan, when we watch him now, young pitcher, young Logan, he has taken off.
He has taken off.
I mean, it's filth. It's the changeup now.
Yeah.
It's the slider, the curveball, and just elevated gas that guys are having a hard time with.
I felt like he has gotten better in every single start we have seen him, which is hard to do, because how do you get better every time you go out? But I feel like that's what we've seen from him. And you documented it perfectly. And, man, that changeup he's unleashed recently, has so much movement. Sometimes it looks like a screwball with that kind of action. Sometimes it has just some devastating drop to it. You can see as this thing moves forward with the great fastball that we've seen, with the slider coming too, that is quite the arsenal, and we are going to watch him pitch in a Mariners uniform for a long time.
Yeah, can't wait for 110 on Thursday in the final game.
75 and sunny. Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
Yep.
Perfect. You're right about that. Hey, let's turn our attention to a place where Logan was not long ago, and that is the farm system. Not surprising that the Mariners have 3 members of the org that have been selected to participate in the Futures game, which is the minor league all-star game, and it pools from mainly the upper levels of the minor leagues, and it's such an honor for a young player to be selected to the Futures game, and really a great watch as well. That'll be on MLB Network Sunday, July 11th at noon. Jared Kelenic, Julio Rodriguez, and Emerson Hancock, who will not pitch in the game but has been selected. This is this is not a surprise, right?
No.
I mean, you're looking at the Kelenic and Julio. You're looking at 2 of the top 5 prospects in baseball. Futures game is lucky to have them get.
You make a great point. It is fun, no matter who you listen to, whether it's Pipeline or Baseball America or whoever, whether you're reading it or listening to a podcast or whatever. I mean, Kelenic and Julio, they're it, man.
They are it.
They are right on top, especially with, Tampa Bay calling it Franco. It is Kelenic and Julio getting all the attention, which is so fun. And I know we'll see Kelenic back here at some point, but that is one of my favorite games of the year. I love the Futures game. Taylor Trammell is the Futures game MVP.
Do you remember the Trammell story of the Futures? I think it was in D.C. So he tags a dinger, okay? Crushes it.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe his first AB. And then next time up, he tags another one, all right? And his dugout is first base dugout, right? So Trammell goes running past first base, and as he is rounding first, he looks to the dugout, his dugout at first base, and he puts up 2 fingers. And the ball hits off the wall. Now, it's an exhibition game, right? So nobody's going to be yelling at you. But, man, his dugout just wore him out. And when he talked after the game about it, he said the most embarrassing thing he anticipated was having to talk to his mom. But it was now that we've seen the Trammell bat flip on the south side, where he just kind of he flipped it in his hand and then he hatchet threw it.
Yeah, right. That's a good description of it. Yeah, just without a target.
Yeah, we kind of see where the seeds of that were born many years ago.
So the 2 wasn't for double. That's not.
I can't remember. I'm sure somebody watching will know this. I can't remember if he had to hold to a long single or if he got a double out of it. He might have gotten a double. But, yeah, he was pretty convinced that thing was out of there.
That's so great.
It was great. So, Julio, Kelenic, and Hancock all selected to the Futures game, which is awesome stuff, and really not too surprising. Hey, let's turn our attention to... What do you say? How about we hear from the skipper as we will take you inside the clubhouse from earlier today as Scott and the guys enjoyed a nice day off yesterday, and they turned their attention to tonight and the Yankees. Here is Scott from earlier today.
Well, we're very competitive, and we're finding ways to win games in different styles. But at the core of what we've done here over the last month, 6 weeks, is really been driven by outstanding bullpen work. I give our guys a ton of credit down in the bullpen. They've kept us in games where we've been behind. They've locked down games where we've been ahead with small leads. And we've gotten a lot of timely hits. And it's come from a number of different young players, which is what this year was about, was to continue to give young players opportunity, let them grow, and continue to get better as the year went along. But I can't say enough about the job our bullpen has done. Those guys have just been awesome.
Well, it's always good to check in with the skipper, who's chatting it up with a Hall of Famer right now, as you can see. Scott brings up good points on this recent run for the Mariners. We know the bullpen has been doing its thing. Young players, some short memories as well, although there's been a lot of good things to be remembering recently. And the incredible thing, too, is they've been doing it without Haniger really swinging it like we know that he can. Seager as well.
Like Kyle Lewis, too.
No Kalu, for sure. And so you're seeing all these young players that are really carrying the mail, and you know that the veteran bats are going to come around here shortly. And we saw Haniger certainly show some signs of life, to say the very least. So it's been pretty remarkable. And you look at it, where we are on the calendar, we're on the other side of Independence Day, and the Mariners have a better record than the Yankees. And now a chance to take a series at home against the Yankees, going into the All-Star break with the Angels still to follow before the Midsummer Classic. Man, pretty exciting time.
It really is. I did a deep dive on the offensive part of this today, and it's really interesting to see. You think back to that sweep at the hands of the San Diego Padres, and then Mariners left a lot of their bullpen in San Diego, right? And they beat Oakland the next day. Since then, the Mariners offense, they have a WRC plus of 103. So they're above average offensively, despite some of the struggles and missing guys they've had. And runs scored, they're in the middle of the pack, 14th, which they were in the low 20s before that. And then batting average, they were batting 199 going into the 24th.
So below 200.
And since then 243, which
that's a pretty big swing. Man.
Yeah, that's near top 10 right now. So the offense has been above average and really good at times, especially in the context of what you're talking about. And it's been interesting is to watch, the Jake Fraley's of the world, step forward and just have some monster games. Sure. And then some other guys, Bowers have his moment, Trammell, a big home run here and there, Shed Long, who we alluded to, a couple of big home runs. It really has been 1 through 9.
Which you have to have.
You have to.
No matter however your team is constructed, you have to have it. And by the way, we have gone over 15 minutes without saying J.P. Crawford's name.
Oh,
are we off the air because of that? Like, does the internet can us?
That's our fault. He's just assumed great now, so we don't have to talk about him because it's assumed.
Scott had a really interesting comment today about J.P. Crawford, and I don't know if I've ever heard this said of a player, but. And that's what struck me about it. For most players, when they start to really hum on offense, like the defense starts to come, right? But for JP, the defense, we know it's always there. It's the Gold Glove. It's 80 grade short, and now the offense has come along with it. I mean, it's kind of a reverse order there. Yeah. And the funny thing with JP is we all know that hitters have hot streaks. I mean, this is not a streak anymore, right?
No. It's too long.
Yeah.
It is.
like I don't know what the definition of a streak is, but it's beyond that.
He's batting 300 since Game 9 of the season. So
yeah,
that was a while ago. Yeah, so it's more than that. This feels very real, what we're seeing from him. Now, he's not going to bat 364 every month. We know that. But the results that we're seeing, it comes from – it's not a lucky streak. This is legit.
Yeah, I think he's been one of the most valuable players when you look at just at a premium position, the premium position at shortstop. He very well could win another Gold Glove this year. And then what he is bringing offensively and the consistent on base, spraying the ball. I mean, it's been the best form of JP Crawford of his professional career.
For sure. You look at defensive runs saved, which is my favorite defensive metric, and he has been going 1-2 all year with Kiner Falefa, and not just American League shortstop, not just shortstop of baseball. We're talking any position in baseball, and they just kind of flip-flop 1-2. So you can make the case that JP has been the best defensive player in baseball, regardless of position this year. So not only Gold Glove, I mean, we're talking
platinum.
Yeah.
Were you afraid to say that, or did you just want
I was waiting for you to, for dramatic effect. I was waiting for you to come in, and you did. So nicely done.
I saw what
but
you were doing.
He is in that conversation.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's a big statement.
And whoever doesn't win the Gold Glove out of the Crawford kind of Falefa, that hurts because both of them deserve a Gold Glove. Only one can win it.
You know what should happen is they should give once you get the platinum and once you get the gold. You know, it's kind of like the medals.
That should happen. If you're in a position where, like, you're a third baseman and Chapman wins the platinum glove.
Yeah, you should, because you're not going to beat Chapman for it.
No, I know. And the other cool thing about Connor Fluffa is he would win back-to-back gold gloves at different positions. Yeah.
Third last year, short this year.
Yeah. Which is really cool.
That is cool, but we can't have that happen.
But we can't have that.
No, we can't have that.
Unless they do your thing. The platinum gold, yeah.
I don't think they will, though.
Yeah. You have a lot of power.
Hey, quick side note to the Mariner fan, by the way, about JP, and a conversation you and I were having today. We've heard Scott say so many times how competitive JP Crawford is. Like, he's basically said he's the most competitive dude on the team, right? Which, I mean, we've seen JP like every day of his career, right? I think from how I view it, when you look at JP Crawford, he doesn't do things. He doesn't grind his teeth, right? He's not throwing helmets. He doesn't do things that I think the cues that most people see are competitive, right? But what we've learned from this is that dudes show that in various ways. Right? And just because he's not doing that doesn't mean he's not the most competitive guy out there.
Yeah, and to me, competitive means you do the work all the time. And that's what we see from JP Crawford. And we see it all the time. Down there with Perry Hill, every day.
Yeah.
Going through the drills every day. We see it all the time. So to me, competitive, it's very holistic in its definition.
For sure.
And a lot of it to me is that you put in the work, not just the game and being competitive while you're playing. There's so much more that goes into it.
I think you lack a competitive fire with that.
What? What are you talking about?
Don't throw your headset. It's very expensive. Well, batting practice is wrapping up, as you can see. Before we go off the internet, we want to leave you with great video that our social team and our PR guys caught down in the clubhouse. The announcement that our very own Yusei Kikuchi was going to represent the Mariners in the All-Star game.
Yusei, you are our All-Star representative. Congratulations.
All-Star too. All-Star translator. There it is. Show that. Yes.
Congrats, man. But you try to tears. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations, well deserved.
Awesome. Keep it going. Good job, Yusei. Congrats, Yusei.
Anthony.
Well, Gary, a lot of takeaways from this, right? First of all,
I love hug lines. This is great.
Yeah, first of all, this is the YouTube tutorial on bro hugs. So there it is. Right, we got it.
All the varieties are there.
I mean, it's actually, they got through it at a pretty impressive pace when you consider the body count there. Swanson, underrated hair game. Great Swanee lettuce. Then I don't think
we got to talk to him again soon.
Yeah, love that guy. Love that guy. Also, the Murphy, like Murphy in the background.
Yeah, rewatch this.
Yeah, go back. You can find it. It's all over the Mariners social channels. Like Murphy in the background and just the big blue eyes and just like the beaming of pride. Like, that's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. And then the Murph hug, which I'm glad Yusei survived.
I wouldn't survive with the Murph hug. All my bones. They're all gone. Crushed to dust.
Like, how many spleens am I supposed to have? Because I'm down at least one after that hug. The Murph hugs are terrifying. But he was so happy. He was so happy. And Murphy puts in so much work. And we know what Yusei does behind the scenes. It's been very well documented. And to have him get paid off for that, pretty cool.
All of our goals in life should be someone be as happy for us and our success as Tom Murphy is for Yusei
Well, we need
Kikuchi.
to achieve a certain level of it first.
Well, that's why.
That's on us,
I would
though.
need to be successful
Yeah.
first, but for everyone else out in the world,
Right. That's a pretty.
success. See,
that's,
look at
that's
that.
a lot on our shoulder. Yeah,
So
nice job, guys. Just so happy, so happy. Hey, batting practice is over, but we're not quite done yet. Now that the grounds crew is taken over to get the field ready for you. Hey, there's a great new show on Root Sports. It's called Corner of Edgar and Dave, appropriately named, and they kind of take you behind the scenes on a lot of Mariners things. And in the most recent episode, they catch up with this man, one of our favorites around the yard, Tim Wilson, head groundskeeper for the Mariners. And let's play a little excerpt from the most recent episode.
Welcome back to From the Corner of Edgar and Dave. The ballpark is certainly huge as far as scale and size, but what makes this place really shine is all the care that goes into every little detail, like the cut of the grass or the rake of the dirt. Head groundskeeper Tim Wilson and his talented team make sure that all of those little details are perfect on game day.
Beautiful day tonight, huh, B? Tonight, I told the guys, if we can, to start from that, especially if there's a pitching change, just to, I talked to them all about that area right there. So even if it's later in the game, Marcus, after they water this in like 5 minutes, then we're going to take the hose out there. You could water the mound, and we have plenty of time because we got the field early, and then we'll use that for the infield. Murphy, our catcher, came up to me again yesterday.
Oh, no kidding.
Thanking me because he loves how soft you're putting it right in front. Because I talked about how you're coming behind the plate.
Oh, cool, yeah.
And just the softness, he stays the ball down.
Yeah, cool.
So he's loving that.
Good.
I told him to come thank
Good.
Jay.
Awesome.
I said, thank my man Jay.
Yeah.
You want me to put it over on the side? Are you good? Oh, it's good. You dialed in tonight? I could see it. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Working, Jay. Did you guys add turpus on the edges earlier? Yeah. When we don't add out here, I still like what we talked about. Yeah. Just doing the edges. Did it slow you down having Paul drag the track at all? Because I might have that third person broom the track and then they could join you.
We have plenty of time.
Okay. I'll probably continue with that then. Moving forward, you think you'll still do more early hitting? It doesn't matter to me. Do whatever you got to do. I just want to make sure my guys are coming in early enough to get to.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if it changes, it changes. Thanks, brother.
Okay.
Tim Wilson's a great guy, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
Is he
Look at this field. Are you kidding me?
the brown patch I have in my backyard, man. Just, it's been green for so long, and now it looks terrible. It just makes it seem.
Talk to Tim. I'm sure he has
so
the
mad.
answer.
I'm just so mad about it. But that wouldn't happen to Tim. Hey, this has been a good show, Gary.
It has been. It's been a lot of fun.
Sandwiches now?
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you hanging out with us for a half hour here inside the ballpark on deck show presented by T-Mobile. It is a gorgeous day. The Mariners are playing the Yankees. It's the first of three. Then the Angels coming to town. Mariners are home for 6 more games, including tonight before the All-Star break. We hope you can either be here inside the yard or hope you can catch us on radio or on TV. Tonight, our pregame show on radio on the Alaska Airlines Mariners Radio Network begins at 6 o'clock, 7:10 the first pitch time. And, of course, on Root Sports, their pregame coverage begins at 6:30 with Justice Sheffield up on the mound. Gary? We won't need to talk to one another until our next show.
That's right.
So, nicely done.
Or see one another. So that'll be great.
Yeah, that is nice. It's actually a real boost for both of our just enjoyment of life,
That's
I would
right.
say, overall. So, until next time, we're glad you can hang out with us. Go Mariners, and we'll talk to you later tonight at 7:10. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the On Deck Show, presented by T-Mobile.
That wraps up this afternoon's broadcast. We appreciate you tuning in to the On Deck Show presented by T-Mobile.